Hello, this is the review of the Palette Vanishing Point Link Black, or Black Links as is most common for, limited edition for 2020. And yeah, let's get into the review. First, let's get into the packaging the pen comes in. It comes in unusual palette packaging where it's a lot bigger, similar to Mont Blanc 149 packaging. And in the back it says Vanishing Point Medium Fountain Pen 2020 limited edition, Link Black. You opened up, just some paperwork and stuff. Then it says Palette limited edition on the top. You opened up, there's a foam bit and inlay where the pen rests. And that's about it. It comes with just how to work the pen, everything like that. The usual things you get with Palette pens. Now let's get into the pen itself. As you can see, it's kind of like a guilloche pattern for this limited edition. It's all black and the clip is matte black, and so is the opening for the nib. It's also matte black, which gives us a nice contrast to the guilloche pattern, and it looks really nice in person more than it does in video. And I like the texture of the guilloche pattern. It's not smooth, it actually gives texture, so it actually makes writing a lot more convenient and more comfortable than regular VPs. And as you can see in the band, it says the limited edition number. It says 2020 limited edition, made in Japan, and which you can barely see, so it really doesn't matter. But the look of this pen is very classic, and the texture is the one that makes me like this pen the most. And that black ruthenium nib, it's the 18 karat gold nib. You can't even see if it's 14 karat or 18 karat until you open it. As you can see, open it, and the nib. The nib is very small, obviously, which capless and Vanishing Points are known for, but it's a very good nib. It's very smooth, just like every palette nib I've tried. Now let's get into just general comparisons to give an idea of the size of this pen. I'm sure people know about palette Vanishing Points already, but this is the Lime Safari, which is not a big pen to begin with. Palette Custom 83. Mont Blanc 146. To give an idea of how small the nib is, I'll compare it to the Lime Safari. As you can see, it is a very small nib. And obviously the point of this pen is not to show up a big nib, it's for the mechanism, as for convenience. So it's very understandable for the size of the nib to make that mechanism work. And the mechanism is very smooth and it's just a joy to write with. It could be fidgety if you want to keep while you're taking notes and whatnot. The clip is very practical, just like every other capless and Vanishing Points out there. As for the mechanism, it is a cartridge converter, and I've been inking it up with carbon black for this video. And yeah, it's kind of hard to ink it up. You have to make sure the feeding hole is in the right spot when you put the ink in. But yeah. Now let's get into the writing experience and writing sample. The Palette Vanishing Point Link Black, or Black Link, is very smooth. The medium nib that comes with is very polished, it's very smooth and has some softness, similar to other palette nibs. It is actually not as soft as the Custom 823, but it's still very enjoyable to write with. And the medium nib is obviously a Japanese medium, so it is more like a extra fine, or sometimes a fine German or Western nib. And so this is good for taking notes on crappy paper as well, which most people do when they're using the capless and Vanishing Points. This is a 18 karat gold nib, which I forgot to write in the writing sample because I just mistook it for other palette gold nibs, but it's an 18 karat gold nib. The writing experience is enjoyable, and obviously there's not really that much line variation with this pen because it's not really meant for that. This is meant for quick note taking and for convenience. So for those purposes, it's best that the nib is somewhat hard so it doesn't spring out when you're writing notes fast, which this pen does perfectly. The pen, there's no complaints with the pen in terms of writing for me. In terms of reverse writing, there's actually writes it pretty smoothly, which is very surprising because unlike some other pilot pens, they're pretty much scratching when you write reversely, but this is not. And there's not much line variation, like I said. This is an enjoyable pen to write with. And in terms of wetness, it is actually medium wetness. It's actually not too wet or too dry, so it's perfect for just casual note taking. This is a side view of the writing sample for people that enjoy that. And yeah, this pen is just a joy to write with. Some problem people might have with is the clip when writing with it. As you can see, I just play around with it. It doesn't really bother me that much. I don't use this pen for hours and hours of writing because this is not what it's used for. I use this for just quick note taking, and for that purpose, it's perfect. Now let's get into pros and cons of this pen. First pro, obviously, is the mechanism. The mechanism is the reason why people buy a palette vanishing points and palette capless, which is known for in Japan, because of its convenience. As for that, I don't think any other pen on the market beats that. Many brands have tried, like Platinum, Lamy, and other Chinese manufacturing brands, but none of them have come close into the convenience as the palette vanishing point. Next, we have the nib, which is very enjoyable to write with, and there's no complaints with this nib. It's a medium nib that has some softness, but it's just joy to write with. For quick note taking, this is a perfect nib with some softness that doesn't make you concerned about overspreading the nib or overspreading the tines. So this is a perfect combination for this nib, in my opinion. Another pro is that this is a limited edition pen. This is limited to out of 2020, hence 2020 limited edition. And they've already sold out in most places as far as I know, but I was able to get this for a good price at Gold Spot, and there's no complaints. So I believe this pen will go up in value over time, but that is not the reason why I bought it. I bought it because of the mechanism and mainly for the looks, the guilloche pattern. The limited edition guilloche pattern is one of the rare ones that they released, and this is the only limited edition palette vanishing point I actually like in terms of the looks. As for the cons, it's the clip for some people. For me, it's not a big deal, but if you don't hold the pen like in a traditional way, then it could be a big deal. Just like how with Lamy, Safari, Lux, and all those kind of nib that's kind of like traditional nibs, the nib sections. If you're bothered by that, then you'll most likely be bothered by this clip as well. I have no problems with this clip, but some people will definitely not be able to write with this because of the clip. Another con is ink capacity. This is a very small converter, so it holds very little ink, but that's not a problem for me personally. For my day use, I usually don't run out of ink. But if you write a lot, if you take a lot of notes, I would recommend having extra cartridges with you. So in case your ink runs out, you could just put a cartridge in. Another problem that some people have been complaining about is that piston sometimes gets pushed down when you close the pen, and that kind of leads to some ink spilling or leaking. But I haven't experienced that issue myself, but there has been some issues like that with other people. And lastly, the price. This is a $286 limited edition pen, hence the high price. Usually you can get a palette vanishing point for around $100, $120, which is a great deal. But this is a limited edition with a guilloche pattern, matte black, titanium nib. So I understand why this is a little bit more expensive. I was able to get this for around $250, brand new, and I think that was worth it at that price point. In conclusion, I love this pen. I like the black accents and the guilloche pattern. which is the reason I bought this limited edition. And the nib is just amazing. This is a great pen for quick note-taking and for note-taking purposes. I don't use this pen for when I'm at home and writing for a long time because I have other pens that meet that need. But for quick note-taking, I don't think any other pen matches the convenience in the market. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.